cop got beat up. It was on the news. There was some of my peoples involved. After that, that's when they came just whipping up. They beat us all up after that. They stripped us, took everything from us, brought us out to the gym, took everything out of our cell, brought us back, gave us all new shit, threw all our shit out. Like, literally did us foul. So after that, they did an emergency class around the whole building and switched the max and turned it to like a super max, like where this side of the jail is locked down. You don't even get your own sneakers.
Oh, shit.
Got a moment when they see you down, there's no they love and all.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby. I got special guests with me today. Why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself, my guy.
You already know it's Mort Beazy, man. Mort_Beazy on all platforms if you're looking for me on IG, Facebook, and YouTube and all that.
We send niggas to their grave cause we riding for bro. We send niggas to their grave, man. Free names.
Hey! Boston got that sound, man.
From East Boston, Mass, man. Maverick, America. You right?
What was it like growing up in East Boston, man, for you, coming up?
East Boston is, you know, we get picked on by the other parts in Boston, like the Dorchesters and the Roxburys and the Mattapians. You know, they always try to consider us like we not from Boston, but it's like, nigga, Boston's in my city's name, literally.
Right.
Boston. So what are you talking about?
So was that more like when you was locked up?
Yeah, in the streets too.
Okay.
Like even recently, like I've seen people still try to like separate us from Boston, but it's like we all from Boston, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to East Boston, man.
Right, appreciate you.
What's the culture like over there?
Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah, I was thinking a lot of like Spanish and Italian at one point too.
It was growing up. It was Italian. I'm half Italian. My mother's Italian.
Okay.
But like it was mostly like, I grew up around a lot of Spanish people. You know what I'm saying? But it's white. It's still mad white too, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's mostly like it depends what part. Like if you in the Orient Heights part of East Boston, going more towards Revere, it's mad white. And if you come down to like towards around the projects, Maverick and Chelsea Street and all of that's all Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And there's black people like sprinkled in between. But there's not a lot of black people out there either.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So the black families as a whole, everybody knows them. We're like the famous families out there because there's not a lot of us, you know what I'm saying?
Now, was it a thing where you coming up, you had beef with like other parts of East Boston, or was it like a East Boston, Revere, Chelsea thing, or how did that work?
Nah,
I know it's always something.
Me personally, I was beefing with like the gang members, even though I was only from the projects and I wasn't actually gang banging at that time. I was just repping my block, but we was beefing with like MS, 18th Street, like sometimes the Bloods, like it depends. But it was mostly like we'll go up to like this place is called Meridian Street. And go beef with them, or we go to the Umana. Because in middle school, when I went to middle school, it was gang banged out. Everybody was gang banging. It was like, you from over here, they got dudes from Boston, from the hood, then you got the Bloods, and you got the 18th Street and the Mexican mafia, like South Park Mexicans. Like there was all kind of gangs coming from people who ended up, you know, getting deported, dying, whatever. Now, but at the time, that's how it was. It was all gangs. It was like a little mini LA. It was like a mini Lynn.
Right.
Like it was like a little, like a Lynn inside of Lynn, but it was like smaller than Lynn. You feel me? Because Lynn's big as shit.
And did that lead to like a lot of trouble in school, fights, beefs, all that, or was that just?
Yeah, hell yeah. It lead me to get committed to DYS.
I know how it is, man. I had street beef that carries over to school. You know what I mean?
There's still people beefing now over this shit when we was all kids, still to this day. So yeah, that's how deep it is with this shit.
So when did you start getting in trouble with the law? How did you end up going to DYS? Was it one of those things where you catch a little case, you get the probation, you violate the probation, or was it like just a serious enough case where you get committed or held without?
Yeah, so no, I was committed. But before I got committed, I had been to DY a couple of times when I was like 12, 13. Like when they first opened Harvest Street in 2001, I was one of the kids there. I was 12 years old, I remember. And it was the Deuce Boys from Lynn.
Okay.
And like it was a bunch of dudes from Lynn, Eastie, and a bunch of dudes from like Magnolia, Columbia Point. And we was like, and then all the cells weren't filled up.
Right.
There was only like 8 of us on the block. And then another block would have like 6 of us. And it was just when the building first opened. So to being a part of that, and even though I don't try to glorify that jail shit or nothing, but I know all the G's coming from that era. So when dudes are like, oh, I'm from over here, and I'll name they top dude, and they're like, then they won't get you on the phone or get, you know, and try to prove your validity. And it's like, no, like, once I say I'm from East Boston, it's like everything changes. It's like, hold up. You know, you don't get taken as serious. So I feel like a lot of dudes from my way got to go harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because who else is doing it?
And I'm sure that's the case. Probably you prove yourself in this one joint.
Right.
Now you go to the next joint, next unit, and it's the same. Yeah.
Right. Until eventually they start, your shit start ringing. And eventually they be like, nah, don't mess. Right. They'll tell you, like, the COs will tell you, don't mess with that guy. Right. It's like the people who work there, the administration staff start telling people, like, yeah, that. Because then you be in the hole. You be one of them dudes that just be in the hole all the time.
Yeah. But why do you think that is, that so many people from DYS end up in the adult jails? And is there something that you think could be implemented more in DYS to prevent that? Or is it just people are young-minded?
They condition us to, and I'll say I say that we in the hood, we in the inner city. So you put it like this, you take a kid like myself, you lock on, he got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at school, whatever, I got locked up. They let me out. I got committed for something serious. Now you sit, like you say, you go to CST, BST, you up there for 2 years. You put a person in segregation from anywhere to 9 months to 2 years, they don't learn nothing. So if you keep doing it, it's repetitive. It's recidivism. That's what they're trying to avoid. But they're really trying to keep it because it keeps the money flowing, you feel me? So it's a system that I look at as based on as, once you got someone trapped in the system, it's so hard for them to get out that even if you do give them a life sentence or you put them here, put them there, it's not going to faze them. They're going to be like, whatever, I did this when I was a kid. I did this. They're already conditioned for it. Right. So they're just getting you ready for the next step. That's why I don't be surprised when I see the same people in the hole. Every time I go to the hole, this person's in the hole. Or I see the same people in Nash, or the same people in the Bay, or the same people coming in and out. I did a 12-piece. So I seen dudes come in and do 3 years, get out, do another 2 years, get out, do another 3 years. And just, they did my whole bit on a little installment. And it's the same people. So it's like you already conditioned to do it, and they know who can handle it and who can't. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel like they get us ready for that. Because Metro's just set up, Metro Detention, MDU, was the first unit I ever went to, when I went to Harvest Street, was MDU, the Brown unit. And it's set up just like the unit in the Bay, Nash, the hole in the Bay is set up exactly the same way. One tier, everybody around, soft chairs in the middle, TV, hard chairs in the back, and then it's permission from there.
And yeah, and it was
you see what I'm
when
saying?
I was there, I think it was, they had 3 of us in there. They had the bunks and the boat.
And the boat, yeah, me too, because there was so many people.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't even know how legal that probably even was.
Mass incarceration, that's what was going on at the time.
Overpopulation and all that stuff. What kind of cases were you catching to end up going to juvenile? What was going on with that?
The stolen cars, but you know, little dumb shit. But then you know, you stop, you know, for selling drugs and shit and assaults. Like my whole record is like assaults and shit, mostly.
So, did you get your GED and DYS? Did you graduate high school? Talk to me a little bit about your education.
I got expelled from Eastie High.
For what?
For a stabbing.
Stabbing. Okay.
I stabbed somebody.
Is that something that was
school.
A case?
Yeah, I ended up catching my first adult case while I was still committed. I had no grace period neither, so when you were saying that, I'm automatically relating. I ain't had no grace period neither, so I was fighting. I was being held from DY from being committed and still fighting, going to adult court while I was locked up at Metro before I aged out. So I was fighting because I was 17. I was 17 the year I was about to graduate. I got expelled in 12th grade. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like, so I caught a dude before school that we had beef, like, cause I had got stabbed up like a few weeks before that, and I caught him. And whatever, and they locked me up. You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
And from there, that started my whole adult shit, basically, from that case. You know what I mean?
Did they try to hit you with like a youthful offender with that?
Yeah, they tried, but I had like literally like I was aging out like I had like less than a month.
Damn.
They didn't have enough time to.
Now you already got that adult case. You're fighting that. Is that something that you end up pleading out to probation? What happens with that first adult case of yours?
The first adult case I beat. I ended up beating it. I had 3 adult cases before I ever took probation. But on the 4th one, I ended up beating the first 3. Then the 4th one, which was all like right after another.
Right.
Which I was still committed for. I caught like 4 cases in a span of like from the time I was 17 and between 17 and 18 when I was about to age out. But the first 2 I beat real quick, and then the second 2 I ended up beating 1, and the other one I took probation, and that started like me violating. And then I had to do 18 months in the bay, and then I'm in the bay.
Now, when you're saying you're beating these, you taking these to the hoop and beating them, or is it like because I know
I beat the first one I beat was. We got caught in a stolen car. Now, I didn't know at the time. I was an adult. The dude driving was an adult, but the dude we had in the back was a juvenile.
Okay.
Whatever motion at the time, I didn't know the law. So whatever motion his lawyer used, me and my man's lawyer adopted that motion, and we all beat it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they didn't have some, I don't think they had probable cause to stop us. It was weird how they pulled us over, like when that whole shit happened. We just looked young.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they probably was like, these
like
dudes ain't supposed to be driving. I was like 12. I mean, no, I was like 16, 17. Yeah, I was like 17. But I've been stealing cars since I've been like, probably like 11, 12. You know what I mean?
No, that's something like walking through the stealing. You breaking into these cars, or you just snag cars that got keys in them?
Yeah, we had master key. Remember like the master key era? Yeah, we shave them down and shit and just have a place to chill if we ain't posted up on them, you know.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that like would. I didn't never know how to really actually do the breaking, but we had a couple cars too. But that just led to us. Now we got a stolen whip. Now we're like, let's go do some other things. Now that turns into like like this is when I was juvenile, armed robbery, armed home invasions, literally just running up in cribs. Not like people home. We don't know. We're just running in all reckless. And luckily it was on some juvenile stuff, and it was, you know, because of seriousness. Is you know, it's a big difference when you're talking about 6 to 8 months as opposed to years and all that stuff. So
what happened with me and D Wado, just to bring it back, like the reason why I ended up going to BST, CST, all them long-term secure units was because I used to be fighting a lot. And then you know how sometimes if you fight a lot, they extend you, give you a couple extra months. So they have a revocation hearing, and they bring a caseworker and be like, "Yo, what's going on? We're gonna give you 3 more months." Or, you know.
So would you turn like a 6-month bid into? Or?
I turned the 8 to 12. I had CST. I was in the CST East, but you know how they used to transition you, move you around and shit, or you might stay there the whole time. They got like long term, short term.
Yeah.
I think I was in CST East, so I was there. I had like probably like maybe 4 months left. I was already there for like 6, 7 months. I had like 4 months left to go home. And I got into a fight, and then that fight led to another fight. And now every time the doors open, everybody's, you know how we on odds and evens, and, you know, all that shit they got, loss of privilege. So that's how.
So how did these fights pop off? Were they things from the street? Was it just people kind of getting reckless with the mouth? You know, and was it just like a?
Most of it is street shit. Most of it is someone, the wrong person to come in, and you know how it goes. Or a lot of it too is that people, like when you were a kid, kids like to instigate things and don't understand the serious nature of the repercussion that happens after things already get too far gone. So a lot of the time it's dudes gassing it up. You know what I mean? Gassing somebody else up that they already know is gonna probably 9 times out of 10 get their ass whooped, but they want to see a fight. You know what I mean? So that too, that played a big part in a lot of me getting in this shit too. You know
now, was it ever a case where somebody just like snuck you and tried to suck
you?
I
got punched in my shit. You know how that shit goes in DYS.
Now, your first time in adult jail, you end up like waiting trial, Nashua Street, or was it a sentence bid?
My first time in adult jail was probation violation. I didn't catch no new case. I had a warrant for failing a report, and I ended up reporting. They ended up clearing the warrant, everything was good. But then I caught a case on probation. You
violate your probation. How much time was that now did they give you?
So they gave me, they let me out. I took drug court in East Boston. after going to court for months. But I was only like 18 or some shit, maybe 19. So I take drug court. I violate drug court. That's when I went on the run. Something happened.
So walk me through drug court a little bit.
It's a setup. Unless you're really gonna be.
How old were you? You was young at that time.
Yeah, everybody else was older than me in drug court. But I just took it because they was like, yo, you can get out right now. I'm like, let me get that. I didn't know what I was saying. I just wanted to get out. I ain't no geeker, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in there, and I ended up violating. I ended up going to the halfway house, and then I ended up running because some shit happened. I ended up going on a run. Boom, I get caught. I was in Florida. I got caught. Boom. They brought me out here. The judge asked me, at this time, weed wasn't legal. And all I used to do was smoke weed. So the judge is like, yo, what did you go on the run for? I'm like, yo, I had a relapse, Your Honor. Just whatever, you know? Yeah. And he's like, well, could you be honest with us? I'm like, yeah. He's like, if we test your urine right now, would you be positive for anything? I'm like, yes, I would. He's like, what's that? I'm like, marijuana. He's like, all you do is smoke weed? I'm like, that's it. He's like, probation, does he have any new cases? They're like, no. He's like, I'm gonna release Mr. Brown too. And he let me go, bro. Yeah. And then I fucked up again like a month later. Caught a case.
How did you get caught in Florida though? Was that something you got pulled over? They ran your name or a random pullover? What happened?
Nah, my girl's brake lights weren't working. Oh. So we were using hazards and we got stopped. And I got caught on a warrant.
Because I know that being on the run thing sometimes is a setup too, because a lot of times you don't get caught until it's another case. Yeah. And now you're back in front of the judge in court, and now you're dealing with two different cases. So you said you got out, and like a month later, you was back
caught
in there.
Another case.
Yeah, what happened with that?
So we ran down on somebody, whatever. They ended up snitching. And we ended up getting warrants put on me and my man at the time. His name's Uno. We ended up getting, he know Uno. We ended up catching a case. He was still a youthful offender committed to DYS, so he got the drop like, yo, they's trying to say this before the warrant was even issued. You know how they know, they report to juvenile first. So we just kind of went on the run, was like, yo, we just went into, you know, and then I remember this detective called my phone. He was like, yo, man, like, we know who you are, bro, just... If you can't just come turn yourself in, then that's what I did, you know what I'm saying?
And you turned yourself in?
They gave us a bail, and we bailed out. But then next time we went back into court, probation held us and shit, and then I ended up taking 18 months.
In South Bay?
Yeah.
And what was that bit like? Was that the same thing as juvie? A lot of
yeah, it was the same people. No, I didn't. My first time in the Bay, I was chilling, like I knew everybody. So it was like, it wasn't really no beef at the time, you know what I'm saying? The little Mexican dudes ain't want it. And at the time, it wasn't really nothing too crazy going on with the beef shit, you know what I'm saying? So I went in there, I slid right through there. I got parole, got out, but I was only home for like 3 weeks on parole, and then I caught my what I went down for my state shit. And then boom, I got bags for that. And then while I was bagged doing my parole shit, I had got this, they hit me with the secret indictment a week before I was supposed to wrap up. So I went from the Bay back to Nash. Damn. With a bail and a new indictment. You see what I'm saying?
And this is something that you didn't even know until
I was like, I know what was going on, obviously, because some incident obviously took place, but I didn't know that they was coming like that. Like the Attorney General's office indicted. They came and got me, picked me up, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I called my case and shit.
And so you finished your parole time in county. But now you're in Nashua,
sitting on a $500,000 bill that I don't got.
Right, yeah, right. That might as well,
might as well be no bill. Fighting like 20, 30 years. So when
and they indicted you right away. How does that work? You said like
I got a secret indictment. I went straight to Superior. I didn't even get arraigned in district court. I went straight and got arraigned in Superior.
And what were they alleging? I mean, you served your time for that. What was the charges at least?
They was trying to say that I, kidnapped somebody and shit, ran home invasion and shit, shot a couple people, pistol whipped a couple people and shit, and was supposedly selling drugs for organized crime syndicate, but that shit was a bunch of bullshit. Just media play with.
Yeah, I feel like they always try to hype things up too.
Shit was media play, but that's why we got burnt. You feel me?
So what happened with that? Is that something that you went to trial with?
Nah, we copped out the day of jury selection. I took my. It was either that or I could have fucking. I pushed them to the wall. I shot like 3.5 in Nash, fighting.
Whole time though, you knew that you was gonna cop.
I knew I was gonna do something. I knew I was gonna do some time.
So now you said, what did you plead out to? What was your bid? You said you did 12 years?
Yeah, yep, 12 joints, yeah, 3 years probation.
And that was that like 12
No,
in
the
a
scratch,
day?
10 to 12, 3 years probation, but my code D got a 12 in a day because he didn't want a parole bid. They gave us the option. I'm like, nigga, I'm trying to get out. And
Get
you
me
know,
out as
parole,
soon as
I don't give a
possible.
fuck if it's parole or
What year was this? Where did you go for classification? Was that
Walpole.
Concord at the time?
Walpole.
So that was Walpole?
Yeah, Walpole. It switched. So the max, that's after they shipped everyone from Walpole and changed the max, and then max was orientation, and you know, if you get sent to the max. I didn't know.
I'm hip, because when I went up there, Concord was class, and it changed over while I was there.
09?
Yeah, 09. Yeah, I went up in like St. Patty's Day, 09.
Yeah.
Everybody pretty much class to a medium was modified and stayed there, and then we got a wave of people from the max, and that's when they did all that. And I ended up just doing my whole time in Concord. By the time I had my points down enough to get to a minimum, I was so short, and I was already like at that time maxing out with 7.5.
Right. Oh yeah, so you know that system.
Yeah, and I got out in 2011. So walk me through Walpole, man. What was that like? Because that's kind of like
it was me
a whole different experience than
it was me running down at every table asking about the beef. The stories you hear about Walpole when you were a kid and you like, nigga, it's crunch time. Bro, it was soft as. I was like, this is crazy. So after all that, I didn't even get into no fights. I slid through there, and then I went to the max. But my classification hearing, they was like, anywhere you want to go? I'm like, Susan Baronelsi, they're like, you want to go there? I'm like, do I have a choice? They're like, they're looking at my thing. They're like, kind of not, but you can appeal it. So I appealed. I'm like, send me to Norfolk. I want to go to do the UMass and all that. You know how they got the Boston College UMass shit down? I wanted to go get my education. That was my plan. Like, let me go get my degree if I got to be up here, whatever. Nope.
Didn't
got
work
the
out like that.
sent me to the max, and I got stuck up there my whole bed, never left. Then I went to DDU like 4 times in between that too.
So why, like they got the point system. How many points did you have?
At the time I had 21 points.
So you're up the max for how long until that DDU bid, man?
As soon as I got up there, like my first 60 days, I got into some shit, poked some nigga up, you know, and out of town nigga from like fucking Worcester, these weirdo towns and shit that's just different. No disrespect to anybody, because there's some G's out there too, but there was just, you know, we don't, like, Worcester, Springfield, you know how, like, it's not like, I sat Nash 3.5, and I was in the Bay 18 months, so I'm around nothing but Boston people, plus I'm in DY Metro. Right. I'm around nothing but my area people. So when you go upstate and you with, he's like, yo, I'm from Amherst, I'm from, and they trying to talk like you, and they're like on dogs this, and you're like, you know what I mean? You start acting like every other Boston nigga, like, nigga, you niggas ain't from Boston, you feel me? So that's basically what was happening up there. It was just really getting into it with a lot of out-of-town motherfuckers, because to run into the beef up there, at that time, you wasn't really running into no beef. They was all little kids at that time, you feel me?
Gotcha. And how much time did they hit you? Like, they hit you with whole time for the stabbing? Like DDU, how's that work?
Yeah, all right, so it's like jail inside of jail. You got to go to a court, basically a hearing, a D-board, and you get found guilty, basically. You could either take some time, take it to the hearing, and get more time.
So you get like a sentence, but it's whole time. And how much time did they sentence you?
So
to
they
do
was
DDU?
if I would have took it to the hoop, I would have got 3 years.
Damn.
But they gave me a year because it was my first incident. The stabbing wasn't on camera. It was a lot of little.
Now walk me through like the DDU thing, man. You eventually are able. My brother did a little bit of DDU time, and you're eventually able to get the TV and all that stuff.
Yep.
So
your first 60 days, your first 30 days, you get a phone call your first 10 days. Boom. Then you get another phone call your first 30 days and 1 visit. Then you get your radio on the 30th day. On the 60th day, you get 2 phone calls and your TV comes. On the 90th day, you get 3 phone calls, 3 visits. And on the your 120th day, you get 4 phone calls, 4 visits. But that's it. That's the most you can ever get a month. So it's like 1 call a week, usually how dudes break it down.
And what about the canteen and stuff like that? They just like stamps and envelopes? Or
yeah, when I was there, just hygiene shit. Now it's different, but when I was in there, it was just hygiene. We had a fight with the police to get shit.
So what's the rec schedule in the like shower things work? How's that work in DDU?
3 showers a week. 5 hours of rec a week. No rec on the weekends.
And you go out by yourself, shackled, cuffed?
Yeah, you go out by yourself. In a cage. It's like a dog kennel. in like cages and shit. But once you get in the caves, they unshackle you and shit.
And things ever pop off in there?
Hell yeah, yeah. I fought in there before.
With like cuffs on?
Nah. After they take you out the cuffs and they put you in the kennel, there's usually a fence. Like the fence is right there with the dude. Right, if you got beef, you just be like, yo, everybody stay in, and me and this guy's trying to get next to each other. And usually it's already. Some of them are already hooked up so that you don't even gotta cut it. But you know, niggas bring their razor or whatever, cut it, boom. And I always say the same. I fought in there twice and I trash niggas, but I always say the same shit. I'd be like, yo, if they don't come, try to kill me because I'm trying to kill you. I'm not, like, y'all don't got time.
What was that beef? Was that just beef that y'all already had beef, or was it just dudes in the hole being reckless?
Nah, one of them was some shit that me and this dude had we had an issue. But another dude was just talking shit behind the door and he just came through on him. If it wasn't me, it would have been someone else that tried to get that.
So you're fresh up in the max. This is what, like not even a year in up there before you get the DDU, Tom?
I wasn't even up there 2 months before I went over there. Damn. I went to the max. I was there for like 50-some days. The big fight popped off. Then I was in the hole from that day all the way till the next year.
So like now, seeing the timeline, I'm thinking about in my head. Was you up there where Aaron Hernandez was up there?
Yeah, but I was in DDU when he killed us. So, but I was there when he first got there. Yeah.
Okay, so what was like the feel? Like what were people saying about him before he got up there? What was all, like? Was it just a big bunch of hype, or was it just another day, another?
Nigga's a weirdo.
He's weirdo from what you heard. Yeah.
Nigga, you had your whole life ahead of you. What the fuck you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's got to be such a.
And then he became a blood.
A shock. Oh, while he was in jail. Was dudes like trying to like ride him?
Yeah, of course, man. You know they went to listen, man. We used to go to church to gangbang, right? These motherfuckers went up there to get an autograph. I'm like, I'm not doing this, bro.
Yeah.
And he was making us hot. He had us on the news every like other week about him getting tattoos. It's like, bro, we trying to make money up here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I guess we making everything hot.
Like, we rarely up here. We doing time. Like,
was he getting into fights and stuff like that?
Yeah, he got into a few up there. He's a fucking NFL tight end. I wouldn't want to fight that nigga.
He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy amongst like them dudes. So
I might want to talk that out with him.
Well, that's what they make steel for, I guess.
Right. Or that, right?
You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's just the way it is.
But he was cool though. He was alright.
That's just a sad story altogether. You know what I mean? People lost their life. He lost his. He got a family that's affected, and obviously that was the New England Patriots thing. Speaking of the Patriots, East Boston. Jermaine Wiggins is from that area. Is that somebody that you ever seen? See him in the school?
That's Wiggy, right?
Wiggy, yeah.
That's Wiggy,
yeah. He's on the radio now.
Yeah, that's Wiggy.
Shout out to Wiggy.
Shout out to Wiggy.
Help us win the Super Bowl,
969, man. Nah, he's still got something up there, though, like something in honor of him at Eastie High, because my daughter goes to Eastie. Oh, they did? Okay. So he's back. He's a Hall of Famer, though. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you're up there eventually. You do the year in DDU. What are you doing in DDU now? Like, how's it work with the books and you getting books and all that? You working out in the cell?
I wrote my best raps in DDU. All that shit you hearing, I wrote that shit in there.
Is that when you started rapping, or does that go back even further?
Yeah, I've been rapping for a minute, but but as far as really like getting my vernacular and my vocabulary up with this shit and really. Understanding triple entendres and punches and metaphors and similes, that's when I really got my mind right. And understanding who the fuck I am. Because you can't live with no one else if you can't live with yourself. You dig what I'm saying? Facts, so sometimes some people, that's what they need, is that solitude. And
Absolutely.
I needed that.
I always ask, not that it's a good thing to go to jail, but you could get some good from it. You know what I mean? It gives you that self-reflection. You kind of find yourself too. Again, it was good to kind of get a clear mind off of like the smoke of weed every day and the drinking, and kind of make me remember what I like to actually do before I started picking up all that stuff, like working out. It made me get back into to working out a lot, man. And I always feel like working out and music too got me through like the toughest time. So I feel like if I have that in my life, I could probably get through anything. So how many songs would you say like did you write in DDU?
Tapes written. I wrote 2 books. I got a lot of stuff I wrote. Man.
So you was real big with
I wrote
the
movies.
pen to the paper.
Yeah, I got movie ideas, movie scripts, business ideas. ideas for apps, creating my own apps and shit. Before I even knew what any of this internet shit really was, you know what I mean, or what it was like now in modern day, you know.
Right.
So I've been working.
That's what's I'm hip, and we're gonna get to all that and everything you're doing now. I just want to walk me through a little bit more about you get out of DDU, now you're in the Max.
Back in the Max, I was there for like probably like 3 to 4 months. Went back to DDU. Another not a stabbing this time. We stomped some dude out. But if you kick some, if you kick someone upstate,
The shod foot.
yeah. So they was.
Is that something they try to actually like in this? They didn't actually try to criminally charge you. These were just D report tickets, or did they ever
referrals, DDUs? Yeah, like if you stab or kick someone, that's considered like some crazy thing up there. I don't know why. In Nash, we just stomping them out in the county. But so that's what happened, and nobody didn't tell me that if I kick. I know if you stab someone, you gonna sit your ass down. But nobody didn't tell me if you kick this dude, you going. I'm like, what? I'm like, I gotta sit this all. Like, this is crazy. So yeah.
And this was a big thing.
Yeah, it was another
like
big.
A few, how many people were like involved with that?
The first one was like 17 of us.
Oh, 17.
Yeah,
so that's
it was a bro. The second one, my second DDU was 5 of us. It was a 3-on-2.
Okay.
And I got 9 months for that. No, 11 months for that, like less than a year. But they took a month off because I did the Spectrum program. And that's how I actually, I opened up a mental health case and some more shit through them. Like, they helped me figure out what the fuck my problem was, you know what I mean? And I get out from that. I was chilling in the Max for probably 8 months, cooling, doing real good. And then I went back again I got into it with a CO.
So you went back to DDU. You went to DDU 3 times?
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And each time was like what?
Like a year
a
piece.
goddamn.
Yeah. My
So
last one was like
18
18 months. My last one was like 18 months. But the last one I didn't even do nothing. They said they found a kite with my name in it. Somebody got stabbed, saying that I sent the dude to stab him, so they gave me fucking. I'm like, yo, I'm like, bro, y'all didn't find the kite on me. Y'all didn't I tried to fight it and everything. I peeled it. They just smoked my shit. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, they're not trying to hear that.
They ain't
definitely
trying to
not
hear
fair
that
how
shit.
they got this.
They sat my ass down. That last one though, I learned my lesson. I never went back to the hole after that. I was over there so much it got to the point where the people working there were like, oh, what's up, man? Welcome back. Listen, we got your spot hooked up and we'll make sure we get you. And it's just like.
So eventually, did you end up getting into any programs or education or school or any of that? You said the Spectrum.
Yeah, I did culinary. I got my Surf Safe Manager, Spectrum. I opened up a mental health case. I know how to do that Microsoft, Word, Excel, all that shit. I did anything that they offered me with my sentence, because the way my sentence scheme was broken in the pattern is if I'm in the Max, they want you to work in the kitchen. I'm not a slave, so I'm not doing that.
That early morning wake up and all that,
doing that shit.
I noticed. I feel like a lot of the kitchen workers were usually the dudes that weren't making money or can't.
Or having family to hold them down. Yeah.
I mean, which I get it. You know what I mean? You get the extra food and all that. It's not for everybody. I never really.
I don't knock it, but I'm not with no sergeant disrespecting me. I be seeing how they be disrespecting them dudes in there. I'm like,
Did you end up getting any type of job up there? Were you do a running job or?
Yeah, so after my last DDU, the cops was kind of like, because they was trying to ship me out of state. So after I did the 18 months, I had to sit in the hole for another 4 months in the Max because they was like, yo, we got to talk to classification that people don't feel safe with you out here, staff and inmates. And I'm like, what, dude? I'm like, I'm like, yo.
So what were they saying about that shipping you out of state? Where were they trying to send you?
They don't tell you. It's called a CFI. It's County Federal Interstate.
Oh, damn.
So you see class, and it's just like a lottery. Whatever state wants to do a swap, they swap. Okay,
because I know one of my boys, his co-defendant, little Joe from Cambridge, he got shipped to Virginia.
Jizz?
Yeah, he got shipped to Virginia.
Jizz, my man. You know Jizz?
Yeah, I know his co-defendant was up here doing one of the episodes. My guy Dutch.
That's my guy.
But yeah, I know him from back in the day playing ball down the park and all that stuff.
He still play ball up there. He's still big as shit. He getting a little older.
But someone told me he's in Virginia now or something. So
he got shipped out.
That's wild.
But he's chilling. He's doing better out there, I believe. That Max shit's whack.
Well, so how's that work now? Were you on like the gang unit up there?
Yeah, so speaking of Joe, me and Joe was on the same tier waiting to get shipped out of state together.
Okay.
They just came and got it. Like they didn't, like, they just came with the team and got them. Brought them to the holding. They just came and got me and brought me. Then they just came and got like all the bosses, like basically all the gang leaders, and according to they.
Right.
They came and got all the gang leaders and just was like, y'all all out of here.
Now,
so me and all my guys that from different places that I fuck with, that we all in there like, what the fuck? Like,
right, they come
that's
in
what they
trying
did,
to break everybody up.
That's what they
they
did
don't like
to
to
us.
see people.
Some
Because
people
eventually you build motion, you know,
Yeah.
you're there for a long time with the same people. You guys kind of figure out a way to kind of do what dudes got to do, man. And that's how it is in there, bro.
You know, it's sad that they even. I don't know, bro.
So you end up wrapping up from the Max? You never got a medium move?
Nah, I did. So my last 8 months, I went to Norfolk. So they came. So it's funny you brought up this. So a cop got beat up. It was on the news. There was some of my people's involved. After that, that's when they came just whipping up. They beat us all up after that. They stripped us, took everything from us, brought us out to the gym, took everything out of us, so brought us back, gave us all new shit, threw all our shit out. Like, literally did us foul. So after that, they did an emergency class around the whole building and switched the Max and turned it to like a super Max, like where this side of the jail is locked down. You don't even get your own sneakers.
Oh, shit.
You get Bobo. I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was right before COVID hit, right before the pandemic. So that happens. I was doing good at that time. I had a runner's job. I was doing real good. I was out of the hole for like a whole year, chilling, ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, Brown, you going to Norfolk. They just came to my door and just classed me out. Came to everyone's door, had them do like a little sit down with the board, sign some papers, and then sent them back to their cell. And I went right to.
So this wasn't even like you weren't even due to see the class. Usually once a year.
Nah, but they can emergency class you.
Okay.
But they shipped everyone out. Like they took everybody who had medium points out of there. I had minimum points.
Open beds for the people.
Yeah, because they was about to change the whole Max. Then that's when it changed. But they took all of us, mad of us that had been up there for years together, all going to mediums, like, oh shit. So I get to Norfolk and it wasn't even like I was in a joint no more. I felt like I was on the street.
In the Max, even when you're not in DDU, talk to me about like what's the rec look like? Is that like a 20-hour lockdown thing?
Yeah, you're out for 4 hours a day. The runner's job, you out. You could be
out all day before besides count.
Right.
So and then you go to Norfolk and then now you're talking about what? You got how many?
Nah, I went to
like
Norfolk.
8 hours rec. How many?
You know what's fucked up? I went to Norfolk right when the pandemic hit, so we was all locked down.
Oh, so you didn't even.
Whole year.
Gotcha.
Didn't even get the.
How did that
experience.
work? Now, walk me through the pandemic. Were they testing people, making people wear masks? How were they letting people out for rec? Was it only showers?
There was a lot of confusion at first. The mask didn't come in until probably a few months later. They didn't even give us masks at first.
How about the shot and stuff like that? Were they trying to force that
on
people? Were they offering good time for it?
Yeah, they offered good time.
I heard that.
10 days, yep.
Like, how do you feel about that? Because to me, that's a little exploitive or whatever you want to call it. Like,
I went to go get that 10 days off my sentence.
Right. No, I hear you, but that's what I'm saying, that it's a little bit of exploitation because it's like, of course, people
we knew something was wrong, but we did it.
Right. You're talking about getting time off your sentence and freedom, man, and anybody.
You know how dudes in the prison yard is. Like you wasn't scared
on the street.
You wasn't out there scared to catch your case. You doing all this time for it. Be scared of that shot.
And that whole time was the same thing as far as the lockdown. Did they start to open that up?
Yeah,
a little more?
right before I got out, they started opening it up.
So now you ready to wrap up? You're getting real short, man. What's the plan? What's the plan? To get out, did you have a plan? Because they say if you plan to fail, you fail to plan or whatever.
Yeah, I plan to just network with this music. I just knew that I was gonna do something with this music shit. You know what I'm saying? Be involved, whether if it was the artist, the manager, something. You know what I'm saying? So ghostwriter, something, man.
Right, but you wanted to be involved in the music some way or another. So then you get out, man, and what was that like after doing over a decade and all that, man? What was the biggest difference in society that you noticed? Or what stood out?
I was looking like, oh shit, like this ain't my hood. Like I went straight to my block, jumped out, like what? It didn't even. It just looked crazy. Like it was a culture shock for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It still is. It's still. I'm still trying to
adjust.
This shit is.
So
weird.
all right. So how long you been out now, man?
I'm coming up on 2 years.
2 years.
Home, yeah.
Congratulations on that. So, how much probation did you have to get when you got?
Well, I had 3 years probation, but like I said, I caught that new. It wasn't a case. They didn't even charge me, but I caught a violation.
Okay.
Where they were supposed to charge me and shit, but they didn't charge me. They never processed the case.
So they didn't. So they never processed the case. So you
never
got violated.
Now they still violated me. They said that if you on probation, there's some weird ass law. If they violate you, even if you beat the case, like I ended up getting the case dismissed.
Right. But just getting arrested. See, that kind of.
That's why I'm like.
It's funny. That's what happened with me. I don't know what it was. It was about the drug case. It took so long to indict me that I had already served my probation time for a case that, yes, I was guilty, but like theoretically, man, I could have been innocent. You know what I mean? That's kind of messed up. So it was one of those things, and I went right back, and this was Middlesex, so I did my bill of record time, wrapped up, and then I went back to Cambridge on the trial side, and then I got in a little fight there. They shipped me back to Bill Ricker. They had like 1 block for the trial side. Yeah, my brother had just came in with a serious case, and the captain over there, he kind of knew us anyway, and he was like, I'm going to put you together, but anything happens, I'm splitting y'all up. And then some dude got a hold of my mail and tried to write 2 people. Yeah, 2 people. He tried
I hate dudes like that.
And I'm like, yo, you don't even know who the hell you're writing, bro, just off of a name. That could be my 12-year-old sister, bro. For all, not that I have a sister, but I'm like, just grabbing someone's mail off a name. That's some creep shit, bro. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of messed up, so I kind of had to do what I had to do with that. Dude didn't want to go in the cell. He was on another block.
You did the right thing.
And I just had to see him at roof call, yeah.
Right.
And that's all, and then the month or 2 later, I go upstate. But so you get out, man. What you been doing since you've been out, man? Talk to me about that, because you seem to be working a lot, man. I see you doing shows. You got albums out. You got the YouTube. I see you had that video. You had Dave East in the video, man.
Yeah, man. That was a dope experience.
That's dope. Talk to me about that, man. How'd you work that out?
So I got in tune with some A&Rs and some managers, and I just, like I say, I talked to bosses, man. Like, and not even on no arrogant and cocky shit, just on some like, I'm done middleman and with the, like, even when I do features with like artists that like already talk to my manager, I just won't do the feature. Then I deal directly with the artist, and it's not, because it's about money. It's not. So everything costs money.
Is big in the, did he have any like game for you? You try to pick his brain a little bit.
He said, "Keep shining.
Keep shining.
We going up. We on the way." He said, if you here right now, you in the right place. You doing the right thing.
What did you do? You went out to New York for that?
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Where his store's at is 4 blocks away from where I basically grew up at in Harlem. My grandmother's building is on 149.
Okay, so I was assuming you were born and raised in East.
Nah, bring it back a little bit. I was born and raised in East Boston. Okay. But I always been locked up. When have I ever been out in East Boston? Right, that 1 year of my life. But before I started getting in trouble, I was living in New York. So before I even started going to school. I started going to school out here. But I would have grew up out there, but the reason I didn't was because my mom left my dad. My dad's from New York. He's from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So once they broke up, it brought me to Boston, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So who were some of your rap influences, like growing up? Who were some of your inspirations or your favorite?
Definitely Kiss, #1.
Jada?
Yeah, absolutely, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, listening to D-Block, LOX, Rough Riders.
Rough, yep. DMX, I mean, and Kiss is, man, he was Biggie, DMX,
right,
like that.
Biggie, like, like, just really, like, more modern, though, later on was, like, Nipsey. Like, before he died and stuff, like, this stuff. Even though, like, I kind of, West Coast flow kind of makes me, like, I don't always rock with West Coast flow all the time. Yeah. Like, it's just not my swag. I'm an East Coast type nigga, but with him, it was more just what he was doing outside the music that made me inspired to what he do. Like, I got his face tattooed on me. Like, I fuck with that.
And that's dope. That's the thing about, I feel like, the social media era is a lot of times that you don't even necessarily have to be a fan of like the person's music.
Right.
You're just a fan of the person, what they do, and that's really kind of the #1 thing, is to kind of build that image. You know what I mean? That personal brand. more so than, you know, because people will follow you just for that, and that's what's kind of cool about social media. How do you feel about social media? Because it could go both ways. It's like a double-edged sword.
When I first got on, I got on social, so I got a vlog too. I got like a little vlog I be doing on my 12, and I'm bro tell you that should be wrecked. It should be wrecked, but I didn't know what I was doing. So when I first, like my first like week out, I'm in the middle of the hood. I just turned my shit on. I'm like, yo, I'm starting my. Today's the first day I'm on vlog, and I just started talking mad shit. And I just posted it, and then I've been posting that shit every day since.
That's what's up.
So. Like that's what. So I was always like, I was big on like exposing people, like rats and like bitch ass niggas and shit.
like locally,
yeah,
or like
locally, not like
so
them too.
Whoever
whoever's not valid. But
now, why did you want to do that?
I don't know, because I just felt like I still do it sometimes. It's like I haven't completely destroyed the ignorance of my youth and my humor, because like I don't, you know, I'm a rapper, so if I do a stand up, I feel like then they ain't gonna take me serious.
Damn, I feel that.
But if you watch my blog, I don't send it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Got you.
Because it's racy, there's different, it's political.
So where can people find your music on YouTube? I know I saw you have the Mark Brown.
Yeah, that's my
music your page. Okay,
yeah.
But I seen your videos on other pages too.
Yeah, I got I'm on the I did the jetpack.
That's I was just gonna get into that. So that's why I first heard you was on the jetpack, and I saw how does that come about?
The dude that shoots it, he was in the Max. He was.
Okay.
Max Yeah, I didn't even know that. I met him there, and I'm like, oh shit.
Okay, so shout out Jetpack TV. I didn't even know that.
He's from Lowell, man. He's from Lowell, Mass.
That's what's up. Yeah, I started to see a few people on there. And
he's about to start posting again real soon. Tap in.
Okay, and the other one was what? Blockwork TV.
He's lit. That's my man Tay-Rock, my man Spike.
And that's someone else that you was bagged with? Or
nah,
just
these dudes are
mutual people
through like internet, like Instagram, and I got to networking with them and through Instagram and stuff.
Now, with your music, you got a team, or is you doing all this pretty much dolo?
I got a team. Okay. I'm gonna say I got a team. It's called 43 AD. Shout out my man Day Heat, man. He's always at every show with me. We only got a couple songs together, but the way I be doing my shows. Cause it's like if you're doing music and you're not doing shows, it's like you're not doing music. You gotta be intimate with your fans. Like you gotta be there and you gotta pop out. Cause it's all about who's popping out and showing support and being outside, so they can see you. If you just on the internet behind the keys all day, it's like people get bored of that.
They want that personal experience.
People get bored of that. So you know, just being you and showing up is the best way.
So what shows you got coming up, man? You got anything lined up?
Hell yeah! So on the 14th. Wait, what's today? What's the 10th?
Today's the 11th.
The 11th? So
14th.
On Thursday, I'm opening up. I'll probably go right before this dude, too. You ever heard of the Coochie Man? YNJ?
I don't think so.
He's lit. He's lit. But anyway.
Maybe.
We doing that show, but there's a lot of people coming out.
Okay, so hopefully I'm going to try to get this out before then.
It's on the 14th.
On the 14th. All right. And where's that at?
It's at Mango's.
And that's Rhode Island?
Yeah. I'm the man in Rhode Island. Shout out to Mango's. Shout out to Voz too. Man.
You go out to Mango's a lot?
Yeah, that's my spot. Every time I grab the mic, I'd be like, "This is my shit." They'd be like, "Yes, it is. That's my shit."
Okay, now talk to me about you got a new project out. You got something you working on. Yeah, what's the latest thing you're pushing? I know you got some videos.
I got stuff going on. So right now I got this tape. It's called Not a Scratch. Not a Scratch. It's 14 tracks. It's gonna be my EP and shit.
Is that the one that's on YouTube?
No. This is coming out on all plats.
Okay.
I'm putting this shit on everything. Okay. The shit I got on YouTube. The reason why I do that, like a lot of people might not know, I got a couple songs on all platforms. But if it's not an original sound, like if I don't know where that beat. If I jump on someone's song and I don't know where that beat came from, I don't know the lease. I didn't see no copyrights, trademarks. I didn't talk to nobody who made that beat. I'm not getting sued.
Especially on YouTube. Yeah. Nah, they will.
So YouTube's different. You could drop certain things, but you can't take a free beat and drop it on YouTube. But you can't take a free beat without contacting the person who made that beat and putting it on all platforms, because they're still gonna get their credentials off that. You say you can make a hit song on someone else's beat. Elvis Beats is getting paid.
Right.
Cosfinger's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, So you got to be careful about what you're doing with certain beats and shit.
Got you.
So if my beat dude makes me a beat pack and I do a mixtape to his beats, I'm dropping it on all platforms. So I'm dropping like my real first EP on all platforms, and I'm trying to get it out before my son. I got a son coming, baby shower and shit.
Congratulations.
So thanks, man. So hopefully before, like by the first month, like by January in the new year, it should be dropped.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. Not a scratch, man. Mort Beazy in the house. Talk to me. What's up with the meerkat?
The meerkat on me.
Oh, okay.
You already know.
Oh, that's
man.
fire.
Got
That's
the
tough.
meerkat.
Sleep. What's it say? Sleep tight.
Yeah, that's my man Aunt Breezy. Shout out to Breezy 617 Breezy, man. My merch guy, man. You know he man, listen. So I got my merch dude, my video guy, and my engineer, my nigga Pat. You know what I mean? Hundo, Pat. All in the same hood, all in the same block. Everything I do it right from my block, right from the headquarters. So when I say I'm trying to put, I say I push this with that meerkat shit. It's like this. When I first got out, I was like, yo, the mayor's back. I used to call myself the mayor of East Boston, right? But then I found out there was really a mayor. There was really somebody named the mayor in this rap shit. So I'm like, yo, hold up. Let me not get sued. So I switched it up. Instead of the meerkat, the mayor's back. I mean, I used to be like, the mayor's back. And then one day I was like, yo, the meerkat. I'm like, oh, I'm the meerkat. Then they was like, yo, you know there's really a meerkat? That's an animal. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I'm like, what? And then I seen it, and I just was like, yo. I just started pushing that shit. And now shit's like turned into something, you know?
I like that. It's original, too. I like that.
Yeah, it's turned into something.
For sure, bro. All right, man. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I just a couple more questions before I let you go, I guess, bro.
Nah, no bullshit. I'm vibing, man.
Okay, well, I know the studio's only open till 8, too, and I got to wrap all this up. But
shout out to the studio.
Yeah, shout out CCTV, man. Thank you so much for letting me do this here. And this is going to air, too, on the local Cambridge station. It airs on, like, channel 8 or 9 or something like that. So it's kind of, you never know, man, who can really see that, man.
Yeah.
But
all right, man.
Lucas, man, for real. I appreciate that, man. Shout out you for coming through, bro. I super appreciate that. And I saw what you was doing, and I was like, yo, I just want to. This is about shining that light. I like to say highlight and humanizing and trying to help previously incarcerated individuals. I'll even bring people on who never been to jail to kind of spit that game. Like, how did you stay out? Because people want to know how to. Right. Who better to learn how to stay out from someone who's never been in jail, but like kind of been in tune with the streets though too. So some people are able to juggle that, man. But like say somebody just touching down from 10, 12 years, man, they got, probation. What kind of advice would you give them, bro? Say that was like your little homie or something like that.
If you spent your whole adolescent locked up and you coming home, don't come home acting the same age you went in. Don't let your impulses, your brain's not fully developed till you're 25. And your decision making is right here in the front. And your brain grows from the back to the front. So the last thing that's developed is your decision making. And that don't come until you're 25. So you might not understand the repercussions of your actions. So don't move off impulse or emotion. Be a grown man. Remember, you grown. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. Emotions cloud judgment. And
right up.
For sure, I seen somebody with that tatted up the way, and I was kind of like,
it's a Halloween mask. Everyone got a Halloween mask up there.
Yeah, yes, sir. So, all right, man. Last time, man. Why don't you promote your social media, all that?
Yes, your man Mort, MORT _Beazy, BEAZY, on all platforms, especially YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because YouTube's like my biggest platform because everybody taps in YouTube and it's free. And any hood nigga don't care about waiting for a 5-second ad. You know what I mean? Shout out to Spotify.
Yeah.
But so I'm on all plots, man, and I got my tape dropping. I got a mixtape. I got a raw mixtape dropping on YouTube too. It's called The Governor's Dead. It's 18 tracks. That shit should be dropping too, right around the same time. And I got 2 videos coming out. One's called Invicta. Shout out my man HBG Henny's on that, and the other one is called Sumner Walker. That's coming out. It's a little drill joint for y'all too. And shout out Felicia too for dancing in that. And everybody else, man, who support this movement, you know what I'm saying? And Pat, Hundo Pat for coming through. Pat, my man Patrick Santos, tap in with him, you heard? You already know.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, if not for real, bro.
Know that, bro.
Oh, it's all good, it's all good. Yeah, so make sure y'all stay in tune for that. I'm gonna link all the everything too in the description. But, you know, just for the people who don't, you know, get in the descriptions, he already put it out there. It's Mort Beazy on all platforms. Man, the mid-cat.
Come check me out, the 14th, Mangoes, Pawtucket, 15 Exchange Street. You know what I'm saying? Come check me out. I got a lot more stuff going on, but that's happening this week. Tap in.
Yeah, Rhode Island. Shout out to the whole New England, man.
Right.
On that note, it is what it is. What's next is what you make it. And we out of here, bro. Peace.
Peace, peace.
Bounce back and got a moment when they see you